many of you have? Give me your left hand. Anyone wearing any of the Fitbit or Apple Watch? I don't see any Apple Watch. Yeah, good job. Good job. Let's wait another 3 years on that, maybe. But with your phone, just imagine with your laptop how much it would cost you about 10 years ago and how much it will cost today. And the size of the technology becomes smaller and smaller, and the price of the technology devices has become more and more affordable. And now with the mobile technology, actually the first time in 2013, when Gallup, which is the survey company, the organization, they did a survey on low-income populations. It's for the first time in the history of internet, the digital gap between the high-income population and low-income population is now getting very close. It's because the mobile access, and even though some people could not afford broadband at a fee every month, they would be able to get onto the internet very quickly from their phone with a minimum fee, if they are with Sprint or T-Mobile, not with AT&T or Verizon. Right? So you can see the trend is technology is becoming more affordable. It's still a huge issue in terms of funding. However, it's getting better. So that's what I wanted you to realize. And also the administration needs to be evaluate process and outcome. Now, your job, in the middle, align your personal vision with school-wide vision for using technology. What's your vision? Do you just view technology as an add-on? I like pizza. Let me put on a little bit more cheese. The technology being that cheese piece, or it's everything in it. And you probably, my 7 to 6 students and my 10, 15 students will remember my metaphor of baking the cake. The technology can now be the icing on top of your cupcake. You can easily wipe off and never eat them, the frosting, or you can now just deliberately take it out. And you cannot just add it on for the sake of using technology. It should be an ingredient that you put in. So that requires you to have a vision first. And you're dedicated, plan well, and integrate that into your curriculum. And how to do that? There were different ways. There were frameworks to help you do that. There were models to help you to do that. And and come out from your experience with your students, and your knowledge with your students, and your knowledge with the tool. All right, so you have to have a vision, and you need to have some tools to help you. Tools, I mean conceptual tools, to help you to integrate the tool into your curriculum. And also, you need to keep on doing professional development, because technology has, just like this surge, it's coming at a speed that is so exponential that none of us could handle it alone. So you need to get involved in an organization and get all the updated information, but don't get overwhelmed. Remember, you're not doing this alone, and you're not the only one that's doing this. So the central part is what your task should be when you think about integrating technologies in your classroom. Not only in K-12, but in college classrooms as well. Focus on, and the whole school and the whole institute together will focus on student-centered learning. That's always St. John's, our vision, is to focus on you guys. How can we really tailor our curriculum and our approach just to help you to become a better you and to help you become a better teacher for your students? And also involve parents and the community. That's so important in lower grades and also in K-12 environment. And assess learner outcomes. This alone can be another topic, and we won't touch assessment today at all, but we need to see growth. But there are different ways to define that. So we'll leave that for now, but hopefully you have some pointers for you to think about how you could play in your school's network once you are there, or you know what your direction is going to be, okay? 3 websites. You need to write this down. Okay, so ISTE, I already talked about it. It's the International Society for Technology and Education, and they publish standards for teachers and students, and they also publish standards for administration, computer coaches, and we'll take a look at their standards in a minute. And Edutopia, I'll skip the pop-up quiz. I was about to ask my students. And Edutopia actually is a website. It's a foundation. It's an educational foundation. So they work diligently to provide up-to-date pedagogy knowledge on their website, including community blogs, including researcher opinions, including cases. This is what I really like about Edutopia. They interview periodically across the country and across the globe about successful cases of how teachers were using certain type of pedagogy or certain types of tools in their classroom. So you can see how others have done it. You can borrow you can have so many inspirations by just listening to their stories and borrow their resources. And most of them are very open for collaboration. So that is a huge asset for teacher to learn from, because once you're out of St. John's, there is no one in your grad class or undergrad class holding your hands anymore, chasing for your homework, and asking you to do your reflection more deeply. You're on your own. Alright, so you need to be able to find the support you would need, and those community are your best path. Okay, so that's Edutopia. And Edudemic is another website. They provide education technology tips, especially for teachers. So I really like their series of Teacher's Guide to. So they have Teacher's Guide to Pinterest. Who loves Pinterest? Pinterest for education. So yeah. And they have Teacher's Guide to Twitter, Teacher's Guide to Instagram, and of course, technology is more than social media. Okay, you have to realize that. Bianca mentioned it yesterday to me. I say, amen. Yes, it's more than just being social, but it does provide a lot of tips for teachers to do. And one of the best projects they have done in the past years, they just like Amazon, we have customer ratings on products and reviews. They have a campaign asking teachers vote their best liked tools, apps, and websites. And there were reviews on each, and teachers would leave comments of how they use that in their classroom. So those are very helpful for you to know, okay, this tool is there, and does it worth my half an hour investigation time and worth my $2 pay fee for that app? Okay, so Edudemic, they also on all three websites are being updated periodically. And if you go to Edudemic, probably the latest article you can find is today or yesterday. So this is a very important standards for you to get resources about in terms of technology integration. They really have to give updated information. So those are the three websites. Let's take a little deeper. So ISTE, this is what their website looks like, and then you can see they have standards for students, teachers, administration, coaches, and computer science educators. So they have different layers of the standards. And this is an overview of what the standards for teachers, students, and administrators will look like. So I won't go over this. You can read it over on their website, Edutopia. This was what their website looked like. And if you go to browse topics, you can see a lot of topics, and especially with the new pedagogy terms. And if you look at inquiry-based learning, flipped classroom, and project-based learning, problem-based learning, browse topics, watch videos, a lot of cases, and not just with technology. We played an assistive technology actually yesterday in my class. So Edutopia, Edudemic, this is what the website look like, and they will have best ed tech and for students and for teachers. If you go to the teacher's guide, which is the second tab, they published articles on different guides on different tools, right? And also, they sometimes will publish organizing those apps according to, again, Bloom's taxonomy. And this will give you, those are borrowed from Academic, so you can see what they actually are offering teachers in terms of helping teachers to understand the tools out there and how to incorporate them. I want to quickly touch base on about the new web tools, which is called Web 2.0. How many of you have iPhone 6s? Wow, nice. The pink one? Oh, it's like out of box. Yeah, and so when you remember when the iPhone first came out in 2007, what does it call? iPhone. iPhone then 3G, right? Because then we were using the 3G network. And then iPhone 4, 5, 6. So later we'll probably have a iPhone 20 or something. It's going to be really long. And so this web is the second generation of the web. The first generation of the web is very different from what you're using now. So you need to understand that. So when you integrate those tools in your classes, you know what does these tools offer in general. So I'm going to give you 4 major characteristics about those tools. Those tools are social. When, I don't know if you remember, back in 2002, how many of you are still in elementary school in 2002? I feel so old. At that time, you know, I told this story before, when we do blogs, that blogging is the hot term. It's like Instagram now. Everyone's doing blog, but at that time, blogging requires you to your knowledge on HTML. Because whenever you want to add a picture into your blog, you need to get the code and edit it. And if you want to make it center, it took me one time 2 days to make my header centered. I was jumping for joy when I did it. And now do you know how many seconds we need for that? Probably 2. Upload, click, center, done. And it's applicable anyway, okay? Web 1.0 requires professionals to maintain the websites and to maintain all the web activity. And Web 2.0 is more geared towards amateurs. And it already, a lot of things has been developed so convenient for us. So as a general user, if you have general knowledge about certain tools, you know how to navigate through all the other tools. It allows you to be able to share things with other people, so it's social, and it allows you to collaborate with other people, and also allows you to interact with the content on the site. I will talk a little bit more. And actually, it allows you to create content on the internet. Web 1.0 at that time, it doesn't allow you to do so much that's available now. So, in keywords, now the new web allows you to share, collaborate, critique, and create. Again, share, collaborate, critique, and create. Let me back up a few seconds. Let's forget about technology. Just looking at those 4 elements. If you have a classroom, if you have a class that you can incorporate those 4 elements, it's a good lesson, it's a good class anyway. If you give students opportunity to share their learning, because each of them are backed up with learning theories. Okay? So if you give students opportunity to share, not only, even in math, giving them opportunity to share their, for example, informative assessment, we have some teacher really like my favorite note. Even though students get the question wrong, but when you look through where, in which steps they made that mistake, they can learn better in the community when they can share that in a safe environment. Okay? So sharing, collaborate. As I mentioned, learning happening in isolation stays in isolation. My dissertation was in collaborative learning in cross-disciplinary teams. When you learn, collaborate well with others, the learning outcome is so much more effective than you are doing it alone. Critiquing, learning from one another, and create. Remember when we look at Common Core, 1/3 of the standards focusing on help students to become this creator, okay? How many of you recognize all those 4 atoms? Yeah? When was the last time you used one of them? 5 minutes ago? Yeah. Yeah, for me it was like 2 hours ago. So you know what does social mean, right? However, just like Bianca was shared, technology in the classroom is more than social media. Those 4 icons or a little bit more than those in the classroom. You should go deeper. If you haven't been to this workshop, you can say that. But now you have and you heard. You need to be able to differentiate social media and technology, all right? Collaborative web. How many of you have Google account? Yeah. So, how many of you use the Google Docs? How many of you use Google Docs with another person? Yeah. So you see, that allows you to do a lot of collaboration, and also Wiki is another format that has a lot of research has done in wikis too. And now collaboration across time and geographical location. Interactive web. Who are Waze users? Only 2 of us? 3 of us. Waze. Do you drive?
Oh, yeah.
See, well, there we go. Oh, Waze actually was purchased by Google now. So they're part of Google's large alphabet company. So interactive web is different from collaborate. Collaborate is between you and the other users. Interactive means you are interacting not only with the users, but with the content on the website as well. If you haven't explored, one of my favorite projects that Google did was Google Culture Institute. And they have very interesting projects posted on their site, including World Wonders, and some of my students explored them too. World Wonders and also art collections across the museums. That's across the country and also in some other countries. And users can, very simple. I don't know if we have time. Maybe later if we have time, we'll just pull it up. But if you have time, explore Google Culture Institute and see how is this interaction means with the users and interacting with the content, okay? And user-created web. You can create videos in about 5 minutes. Your trailer, my students did the trailer project. And also VoiceThread. Some of you did. VoiceThread is a very interesting tool that you can voice record, like you can record your voice or you can capture text responses to an image, and there are very fantastic projects that's been done by students across the country. So I'm Prezi, we all know about that, and Prezi allows you to do fun, creative presentation than PowerPoint. So it allows students or amateur experts to create content using it. So let's come back to the 4 characteristics of the new web right now. Not all the tools, but most of the tools allow users to be able to share, collaborate, and critique, provide content that's already on the website, and also create content. All right? I think I'll skip those parts. I want to to comment or want me to elaborate a little more, but I want to give you a food for thought. 21st century learners have to learn and relearn, define and redefine. But you, all of us, cannot be a good teacher without being a lifelong learner. So we thank AWD for doing the professional development so diligently for you guys to prepare you for the future. And we also go to professional conferences to be part of this community so that we can better become a college professor and become a classroom teacher and become a K-12 leader. All right? So hopefully you have taken some takeaways from you. And I want you to maybe just take a few seconds, maybe 60 seconds, write up maybe 2 sentences in your notebook or in your mind, your takeaway from today's discussion. And what's the first, maybe 1 or 2 things that you can use, maybe not today or tomorrow or next week. All right, so I'll give you maybe a moment just to wrap up what you have takeaway from the discussion today. Right. 2 minutes. Okay. I hope it. Thank you. Anyone would like to share maybe 1 or 2 things that they are going to take away from today's discussion? Cameron, you seem to have something. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but
I really like the first slide you showed the tone of learning, the percentage of what you remember laying down parties at 90%
in about 2 weeks they forgot. So it's really important to get them learn.
I think it's really important to remember that this is a really important and daunting task for us, but that we're not alone. Like you mentioned, there are so many resources and other teachers, like our peers, our colleagues, that are doing the same thing. So it's important to communicate so we make it a little less overwhelming for ourselves.
I think one of the things you have to remember, I was a New York City school teacher for 30, 40 years, and when Dr. Chen talked about the classroom and the makeup of the classroom, unfortunately, if you come to register your child and they're 12, they go into the 6th grade. They may have never had any education at all. Maybe they don't even know how to speak English, they don't know how to read a word or whatever, but they're age 12, so everything is age appropriate. And now you have to challenge with the kid that's never spoke a word of English, doesn't know how to read, doesn't know how to do anything, but he's in the 6th grade, you're the 6th grade teacher, and you have to succeed with this. So I really like that whole idea that you talked about the classroom and the challenge.
Right. It's real.
It's real.
And especially in New York, if you become a public school teacher, that's the reality. And
Everything is age appropriate.
yeah, and in Flushing, actually, we have many cases that new immigrant, the children, without speaking a word of English, and they were put into classroom, and now they are putting all the new immigrant children in one classroom without any bilingual teachers students are grading each other's homework. And it's just saddening to listening to those stories and cases. So, but it's real. So hopefully things will get better. But it's important for us to understand those challenges. Thanks for sharing. All right, so my email, chenx@stjohns.edu. So if you ever have any questions and would like to have some chat about some projects you would like to do, feel free to drop me a mail. All right? Thanks again over there.
We have a special thank you for all your time and energy. We have it up the time.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Before we let you all go, we just have a few quick announcements. Anyone who's interested in co-facilitating a professional development workshop may contact the e-board at our email, questions for Kappa, the number 4, Kappa, Kappa, @gmail.com. This includes all prospective and general body members. Please look out for your email. We'll be emailing prospective students with application information and current members with ways to get more involved with our committees. Just a reminder of the benefits through KDP, the webinars, the subscriptions, the discounts, a full list can be found at kdp.org. And then some upcoming events that might interest you all. There's the School of Ed and the Soup Kitchen, Friday, November 13th at Bread and Life from 9 to 1:30 p.m., which is a service. International Education Week is coming up. There's a Fulbright student panel facilitated by Dr. Yvonne Pratt Johnson, which is Tuesday, November 17th in Jacksboro, 6 from 5:30 to 6:30. I Learn America, there's a screening and director's discussion that's going to be coming up next Thursday on the 19th in Bent Hall 101A from 5 to 7. There's the Midnight Run, which is Thursday, November 19th, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., which is service. A faculty forum with Del Vecchio, which is Wednesday, November 18th, 11:30 a.m. in Sullivan, which is the professional development. There's a food drive to benefit the families of PS 86. So bring in your canned foods or dry goods by Friday, November 20th. You can bring them into Sullivan Hall room 402. That also comes to service, yes, her office. And last but not least,